In today's episode, I'm going to be talking about men watching Outlander. Jamie Fraser. Hello folks, how are you doing? Welcome to the vlog. My name is Shaun, a Scottish YouTuber from Edinburgh, and I talk about Scottish culture, travel, adventure, and of course Outlander. And in today's episode we're going to be talking all about men watching Outlander and why often they do not. Myself, as a man who watches Outlander, I can often feel very lonely in terms of the male species. This is something I've been thinking about for a long time. I'm not 100% sure as to the reasons why a lot more men do not watch, but I'm willing to have it a go in today's episode. And if you're new to my channel, I would very much appreciate if you would hit the big red subscribe button down below so you can keep in touch with all my content. Follow me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and all the other platforms. Also, as a lot of you guys will already know, I have started an Outlander discussion group on Facebook called the Outlander Forum, and you are all welcome to join. The URL is www.facebook.com/groups/Outlander the Forum. As well as these Outlander vlogs that I do every Sunday, another great place to tide you over as we head into Droughtlander, the 9 months while we wait for Series 4, is the forum on Facebook, where we have lots of great discussions all about Outlander and what is happening in the world of Outlander. Gossip, news, and all other kinds of great chat, so come on over there and join in with the fun. Sounds like I've got a frog in my throat. Anyway, today's episode, Outlander, why men do not watch, why they haven't watched, why it is a mostly female audience. And to be honest guys, I'm baffled. Like, this is something I have put a lot of thought into. Ever since I started watching Outlander in the summer of this year, I've been thinking about this. Why do men not watch Outlander? Now, of course, some men do watch Outlander, and they are called Outmanders. Outmanders. That is the term that people kind of give to us as men who watch Outlander. I don't know if I really like Outlander. It seems a bit goofy. But there you go, I'm an Outlander, and I'm one of a very, very small group of men who watch Outlander, because the audience is mostly female, but it is curious as to why more men do not watch. Now, I think I am probably slightly different from every other man. Not every other man, but most other men in the world, in terms of Outlander, and I'll tell you why. I'm Scottish. I think that alone is enough to pique my interest in Outlander. The historical aspects of Scottish battles and the Jacobites and all that kind of stuff, alone, without any other factor, kind of compels me to watch Outlander. Not every other Scottish person will agree with that, of course, but for me, that is certainly a big draw. And in fact, I'm going to admit something to you guys. I put off watching Outlander for the best part of 6 months, despite people in my family, my parents telling me it was a good show. And I think it was because I read the synopsis. And of course I've never read the books before, so I never had that perspective, but I'd read the synopsis of the first few episodes, and I thought, this doesn't really sound like something I'd be interested in. Like very airy-fairy romance, and I don't know, I just was not attracted to it. But eventually, after months and months of my parents wearing me down, I eventually decided to give it a go, and bloody hell, I'm glad that I gave it a go, because I absolutely love it. As you guys know, it's an awesome show. It shows off Scotland so well. The history, the battles, the epic romance, everything together is amazing. But I think a lot of men, they will not kind of go into that much detail in the beginning, like myself. I just read the synopsis and thought, this seems like not the kind of thing for me. But I think that would be such a great shame if more men made that mistake and didn't kind of get more into it. I love adventure stories, right? No matter what they are, in general. And I didn't really realise the adventure side to this before I actually got into watching past the first episode. For me, is what I saw as time travel. I've never been a science fiction fan. It just wasn't enough. I didn't know any of the actors at the time. But if it had been explained to me properly about the real battles between the clans and the survival story of Claire and Jamie and what they had to go through, leading up to Culloden and after Culloden, I would have been instantly into it. It is a romance story at the heart of it, but I don't know why that should be any excuse for a man not to watch Outlander, because if you think about it, all the action movies in the past, even if we took it Scottish ones like Braveheart, of course it was a big massive epic battle between Scotland and England at the time, but at the centre of Braveheart was a romance, right? And a lot of people don't really appreciate that and recognise that, and men didn't really have a problem with that. So I don't really then understand why Outlander should face the same scrutiny from men. But I guess the one unique point about Outlander, which does make it different from those other stories, is that it's seen from the perspective mainly of our lead female character, Claire. So we're watching the story from her gaze, if you like, and I think men probably have been conditioned to think that is not natural. I think in this particular vlog I need more help, right? Because I am only one man, And the men that I know, most of them do not watch Outlander based on the things that I've talked about. But what about you guys? You guys watch Outlander. What about the men in your life? Do they watch Outlander? Do they like it? What reasons have they given you as to why they don't like it maybe? It'd be really fascinating to know, so please leave your comments down below. But back to my point. The female lead character is the kind of gaze that we get in Outlander of the world, right? And I think that is something that men are not used to. And certainly something I probably found maybe a wee bit strange at first, but actually it doesn't really matter. In fact, I think I found it even more engaging based on the fact that it was a female gaze. I kind of felt like I was learning about what women think of men. I was more appreciative of the female point of view of everything. And having not watched many series or films like that, it was definitely a unique experience for me, and I really, really enjoyed it. And you know, Claire, she's obviously a very attractive woman, all that kind of stuff, but for me as a straight man, like, that is not the way that I looked at Claire. And I find this a fascinating difference as well. I think a lot of the fandom out there, the Outlander fandom, looks at Jamie and looks at Sam as a lust figure. Am I right in saying that? I don't want to be disrespectful to anybody when I say that. So please let me know in the comments if that is something you feel. The main male actor, Sam, playing Jamie, he is lusted upon by many of the viewers. I was looking at Claire throughout the whole process as more of a sisterly figure. Is that weird? I don't know. Like, this is something I find fascinating. To me, Claire was not a figure of lust. Why should that be? I don't know. I looked on her as a sister. That is so weird. I've just really thought about that now as we're doing this video. I never really came to that conclusion. So there you go, live on this video as I'm recording. Claire, obviously, I'm not going to lie here, but I didn't look on her that way. Now, of course, Claire isn't the only attractive female figure in Outlander. It is laced with really attractive female characters. And if the reason that a lot of men are not watching Outlander is because they think it is just full of like hot, hunky men, and that's not their thing, there are plenty of hot female actors in Outlander as well throughout. Season 1, 2 and 3, and there's lots of nudity and all that kind of stuff if that's your thing. I don't know. That is not an excuse if you think the reason is there's too many naked men in Outlander, which of course there is as well. But it's not really a reason why men shouldn't watch, and I do wonder, the male perspective, why do they not watch Outlander more? Is it because of the male characters, which they feel as superior? Is there some jealousy here? That could be the thing. Like, I watch Outlander with my wife. Me and my wife watch together. I never necessarily feel jealous of Jamie at all, but I do get that that's where this might come from. Obviously, I do get the fact that Jamie is a good-looking man, and he is, in many ways, an ideal partner for a lot of people out there. He thinks of Claire before anybody else, and yeah, he just seems like the ideal husband, really. And I think a lot of men might well be jealous of that whole thing. I never really got it like that. I think for me as a man, watching in on Jamie as the lead character that I know a lot of female fans love, I've not got any jealousy there, not for my wife watching and not for all the other females watching. When I watch Jamie, I look at someone who is more of a guy I should look up to and like try and be more like, basically. I don't know, that is my perspective on that. So the jealousy thing, I kind of think it could be that though, for other men. But like I said, I can't really speak for everybody, so I'd love to know your thoughts. Is your husband or your partner jealous of Jamie? This is something else I think is worthwhile talking about. Outlander is seen through the gaze of a female, right? But that does not necessarily mean that the show excludes sexist behaviour by men, because although we get Claire's perspective on sexism and things that goes on, and she always defends the female point of view, which is absolutely amazing, it's perfect, that's how it should be. But we still see lots of cases of sexism throughout, whether it's towards her or towards other females, based on how things actually were in the times she was travelling. A lot of sexism, and it shows Claire standing up for her beliefs and her ideals. But then you've got this Jamie character who is obviously very much progressive in the way he thinks, outside of his time zone. Like, he is with Claire all the way on all the struggles that she faces. Maybe apart from the scene where Claire gets spanked by Jamie for doing something that the clan felt was wrong. Maybe that is the exception, but Jamie soon learned after that, very, very quickly, that that is not the way to treat women, right? So that is fascinating as well. Like, there's so many intricate parts to this. Why do men not watch Outlander? And I'm not just saying this, men do not watch Outlander as some kind of baseless claim. It's a fact. The main audience of Outlander is female. And I think what this will mean is I'll need to do more than one video on this topic, because I think it's important, I think it's interesting, and going forward, like how we approach Outlander, when we're talking to our friends and family, how do we get more men involved? Is it time for us to change the conversation on Outlander so we can get more men involved in watching the show as well? And I know, because I'm a man watching Outlander, that men around the world are absolutely missing out on a diamond of a program, a brilliant, brilliant show, epic story, based on really nothing. Really their initial impressions of perhaps reading a synopsis or The fact that the main character's female? I don't know. Like, what is it? Is it the fact there's so many strong female characters? Maybe we start on this episode right here. Maybe I get that discussion going. What are the reasons that men should watch Outlander? Here are just a few to get you started. First of all, men will start to understand the reasons the females in their lives have been obsessed with Outlander for so long. Second of all, the historic aspect. Men will get involved in a historical story that takes them into Scotland through the ages, and I think that is brilliant. For me as a Scottish person, that is what got me hooked on Outlander, and people who are interested in Scotland in any way, shape and form, male or female, will enjoy Outlander purely for that historical context.
Why must the Scots be such intractable people?
Another reason men will love Outlander is the gruesome battles and conflicts. Yes, there are lots of fighty scenes in Outlander. Swords, people dying, torture. If that is your thing, if you like bloody battles, there are plenty in Outlander. And lastly, there are lots of hot women in Outlander as well. Let's shatter this misconception. Yes, there are a lot of hot men for the ladies in Outlander, but there are also lots of hot females in Outlander. Believe you me. Get involved. Outlander's amazing in so many aspects. It's historical. It is a lot of fighting, violence, there is a lot of great, amazing acting. The characters are just so dynamic and superb. I love the characters in Outlander, that's probably the biggest thing. And the stories between those characters. Yes, the main love story between Jamie and Claire. But actually, if that's not your thing, get this, right? I started watching Outlander and I probably wasn't necessarily that into that side of it as well, the love story. But then after watching the first few episodes really, I started to cheer for Jamie and Claire to get together and survive together. How about that? Like, I wasn't necessarily watching it for the romance, but I got into it and started to believe in that relationship and wanted it to last and cheered for their continued success. So many dynamic reasons to watch Outlander. It's a story so brilliantly written by Diana Gabaldon and turned into such a great series by the TV producers. Like, start to finish, it's epic. Everything about it is brilliant. Honestly, to all guys out there who have never watched Outlander, give it a chance. To all the ladies watching this, please tell your guys to watch this. Anyway, that is it for today's video. And as I say, I think this is a deep conversation to be had about men watching Outlander, and there is more to be said. So perhaps this is a 2 or 3 mini series within the Droughtlander videos that I'm doing that I need to cover. Before I go, listen, there is an elephant in the room. I know, staring you right in the eyes as you watch this. My hair. It is different, very different. I will tell you the story of that in the next couple of days, perhaps. There will be a story. Anyway, that is it for today's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please do subscribe if you haven't. Share this video with friends and family who are Outlander fans, or even if they're not, if you want to persuade them to watch Outlander, make sure they watch this video. I appreciate you guys, as always, so much. Thanks so much for joining in. Remember to keep in touch on the Facebook Outlander Forum that I've set up. And drop your comments down below about your thoughts about this video. I will be coming at you guys again really soon, probably tomorrow, with some more vlogs. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Have a great night. I will speak to you again soon. Take care.